Okay, hello viewers, welcome back to round 4. I'm Niels Viaene, I'm here with Nathalie Heylen. She will be doing coverage together with me. She's the founder of the Lady Planeswalker Society Belgium.
Hey Niels, thanks for letting me be here, it's great to be here. I am the founder of Lady Planeswalker Society, and we are an organization who thrives for gender equality within the Magic community. And we try to make sure that Magic the Gathering keeps on being an awesome community for all genders, depending on race and gender.
Okay, in the meantime, we're in game 1. We have 2 7-card opening hands here. Frederik starting on his Gainland. He's on the blue-black control deck that we saw played by Sander in the last round. Edouard, in the meantime, is on blue-red prowess. Okay. Wat als ze wil. Oké, we're off. Er is een vertraging van 30 seconden, dus it should be okay. If you guys still don't hear any sound, let us know, okay? In the meantime, there's attacks underway here. So currently Frederik is at 20 and under attack by 2 Monastery Swift Spears, and we have a prowess trigger on the stack with an Expedite, I think the card is named.
Yeah, it gives haste, and I believe you can draw a card from it.
Yeah. So taking 4. And Frederik answers with an anticipate. I guess he's looking for an answer to this. This is a pretty aggressive opening in any format. I think any player in regular standard would be happy with this as well. Oh, let's see what he gets for his turn 3. Flaying Tendrils. Yeah, that's a great answer to this board. As you can see, it's a very important tool for the blue-black control decks. Sander also saved his skin a couple of times with that card. Oh, and Edouard has nothing to reload. Also worthy of note that Edouard is on a blue-red control, so he currently is missing a color.
So the League Standard UR Prowess deck, I played it myself, and it's a very nice deck to play. It usually wins with a lot of prowess triggers and then double striking, and usually making the creature unblockable, dealing a lot of damage in one turn. So they don't need a lot of mana, and even if they run out, they can treasure cruise to a full hand again, and it's a very good deck, very aggressive, as we can see in this matchup. As we can also see, the blue-black control deck really needs to have early swipes to keep up with this deck.
Okay, so what we're seeing now is the elusive Spell Fist being cast by Edouard. Like we said, he was pinched on blue mana, he got it, and let's see if he can dig himself out of it. He has lost tempo at this point a little bit, giving Frederik the time to develop a bit of his hand. Life total wise, card wise, Frederik is looking very healthy for what a blue-black deck expects to be like at turn 5, turn 6 against such an aggressive strategy. Okay, so at this point Frederik is comfortable enough that he can start dictating the pace of the game. At this point we can see him play counters even on very cheap threats just to make sure he stays safe. Eventually he'll take over in the late game with card draw and probably very hard to beat victory condition. That's Storm Chaser Mage coming in, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so. And that's the unblockable draw card.
Slip through time.
Yeah, exactly. So that's one of the benefits of the blue-red deck. It can very easily come out of nothing to create a very significant threat. Of course, on the other hand, the blue-black deck is quite equipped to deal with a lot of diverse threats here. We see the Murderous Cut countering, in fact, the sneak through time, denying the extra card draw as well from Edouard. So at this point, it looks really good for Frederik. He took great advantage of the hiccup that Edouard has around turn 3. So
we have someone saying that it's a good matchup for the control deck, and then some people saying that not really is, and it really is depending on how fast the deck is of prowess. As Niels was saying, this matchup looks pretty good for Frederik at the moment. After a sideboard, that will be an entirely different thing, but we'll have to watch for that.
Yeah, Frederik played one of his few victory conditions. I think it's the Sphinx that scries as well.
I can see it.
Okay.
Is that? I think it's the one with the hexproof. I'm not sure.
Okay, and as Nathalie mentioned earlier, the blue-red prowess deck does have the ability to reload with Treasure Cruise. So it's a very strong card. I mean, even without a plethora of fetch lands and easy spells, you can easily get through it.
Yeah, it's the one with flying and hexproof, and it cannot be countered.
Frederik, life totals? 16 voor u. Ik vraag het, hè. Okay, we're on 6. Nee, gewoon luid op zijn. Okay, we have a bit of a communication issue with the life totals. That was fixed now.
Thomas is making a very good remark about targeting instant offered because it has a small amount of creatures, which could probably be the reason why Edouard is having a bit of trouble here. I don't know. When I played the deck, I splashed white with it to counter that one, to have the protection cards. I think Feet of Resistance it was called, just to give it hexproof.
Did you also play Seeker of the Way?
Yeah, I love that card. I also played Mentor of
yeah, Monastery Mentor?
Yeah, Monastery Mentor. And I played Fetch for my for my rare slots.
Yeah, that's the thing with 3 color decks. Mana becomes difficult, as we saw with the match with Ian earlier. You have the tri-colored lands that come into play tapped, but that's again slow mana that comes into play tapped. So, like I mentioned before, 2-color decks are usually more suited for this format. But if you're ready to devote some slots to your mana base, it can work. It's just boring, you know. Okay, in the meantime, Frederik remains very firmly in control, while Edouard doesn't seem to be able to find anything to fight back, and indeed he scoops them up. So that's 1-0 for Frederik, and this is the guy who was worried about the matchup, so I guess he must be feeling good about that one right now. Okay, let's adjust this. So again, for the people who are new and don't know what's going on, this is League Standard, or Gentry as it will be called soon, hence the name of the stream. It's a budget version of Standard where you're allowed to play a maximum of 15 uncommons and 4 uniquely individual rares and or mythics.
So Frederik is 1-0 ahead at this moment, so we're going into game 2.
their standings in the tournament, if that's what you're asking about. Edouard is 3-0 and Frederik Mortier is on 2-0-1. So 2 wins and a draw. So Nathalie, can you tell us a little bit more about the Lady Planeswalker Society while they're sideboarding?
Oh yeah, sure. So next week there's a GP Paris, and we are organizing a workshop where we will be focusing on the standard metagame, and also for newer players who haven't done a GP before, where we can give you some tips on how to prepare for it, some things that you need to be aware of when you're going to such GPs. What else do you want to know?
Well, not much actually. This was a very nice description. It made me think about something else. GP Barcelona is also coming up, and we managed to make a deal with the organizer. There's actually going to be a league standard event at GP Barcelona as well. There was one at GP Brussels before. It was on the smallest side. We had 14 players, but the format has grown and in popularity quite a bit. We see a lot of little nodules erupting all over Europe right now. And if you're going to GP Barcelona and you're interested in this format, go check it out. It will be a charity event as well, so you're actually helping out some people by playing this awesome format. Okay, so in the meantime we're still in Mulligan. What we'll see likely is hopefully Frederik has some access to cheap removal to stop this really fast start. Edouard likely will go towards some counter spells. This spell is really good in this matchup.
Probably negate as well as he plays it in sideboards.
We saw in the previous match also blue-red deck that boarded in disdainful strokes and negates and dispels,
which is really hard for a control deck to win against.
You have no idea what you're fighting against when there's 2 untapped mana. It's a really strong position for them. Okay, the Skyrim, I can't read the rest of you.
Elder Scrolls from the game.
Oh, Skyrim Elder Scrolls. Not sure what you're saying in the chat. If you want to know something, just type it out, I guess. Okay. So, sideboarding's done. Let's see how this dynamic in this game changes now that sideboards are in effect. Also, let's cross our fingers for a nice and interactive game that's fun to watch and to play.
I think it will be a very interactive game, especially if Edouard put in some counter spells in there, because he will likely hold on to his creatures and only play his combo.
So we see Frederik mulliganing. Edouard, I think he decided to keep. At this point, I'm not completely sure. He doesn't look completely sure either. So how do you think this matchup changes now? I guess Edouard will still try to go for a very early onslaught in the first 3 games, but then slow down and build up a hand that has a very big punch protected by a bunch of counter spells. The thing is as well, once creatures are in play, all the prowess triggers translate counter spells into extra damage as well. So if he sculpts a perfect hand, he can do pretty crazy damage over 2 turns, where he plays a bunch of creatures, protects them, and then pumps and protects them the next turn. So we'll see how this plays out. So in the meantime, we know that Edouard decided to keep his 7. Frederik is looking at his 6 now. And I spotted a hand with only 1 land in it, so back to Mulligan Town. Guess we jinxed it when we asked for a fun and interactive game.
So we have a player asking Skyrim's Elder Scrolls if Frederik's gonna win. So I believe that this will be very interesting to see. I really can't know for sure which one is going to win. I favor the Ewer Prowess deck because I'm an all-time favorite for that deck, but I think the matchup post-sideboard is pretty 50-50 in my opinion here in League Standards. So I think we'll just have to watch and see what happens.
Yeah, the fact he's going to 5 and he's playing against the 7-hand blue-red Prowess deck on the play bodes very badly for him in game 2, of course. But we saw him dispatch a pretty awesome opening start in game 1. So if he gets this kind of kill 3 creatures on turn 3, and here we go, we have the Monastery, Swift Spear, the perfect opening for this deck, really.
Really is.
So,
oh my god.
yeah, the start is pretty strong. Now, last game, he started with a double Swift Spear, and that got punished really hard with the Flaying Tendrils. Now, with the Storm Chaser Mace having 3 toughness, that's such a huge deal for this control deck.
Which makes it a very, very, very good card.
Now, luckily for Frederik, we see that Edouard is stuck on 2 lands. Even 1 extra mana here could have meant an easy 6 extra damage with a Titan Strength. That would have been the perfect card here.
Elusive, the haste.
Yeah, the Expedite.
Card. Yeah, Expedite.
So we have a really aggressive opening here, who's also Tendrils proof. I hope Frederik has some point removal spells ready for this. The thing is, a lot of these blue...
He found his third land.
Yeah. The thing is, what I was about to say, a lot of these blue-red, black-blue decks rely very heavily on Murderous Cut as a removal. And of course that just comes too late. Oh.
That's a chase?
Is that a chase? Yeah?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a chase.
So Jace the Wallet Prodigy is in play. So this is a budget standard, but you know, when one card is worth more than the rest of the decks in the entire format, that happens as well. Let's see if we can make something out of it. So I think that's an Anticipate. Yeah, that's the new Anticipate, yeah. So Frederik digging
for answers.
For answers here.
Yeah, Bowblight would be nice to rotate back into League Standard for Frederik at this moment now.
Which one?
Bowblight.
Bowblight, yeah. Okay, it doesn't look like Frederik found what he was looking for. But do remember, he was on the draw and on a 5-land hand, so it's time to play some removal though. Oh, it passes the turn.
With 4 mana open, so...
Yeah, sure, but the thing is, he had the chance to play something while Edouard was tapped out of blue mana. Now he might be playing his removal straight into counter spells and activating prowess triggers with them. So the prowess deck demands from a control deck to play somewhat differently. I think he's looting in combat step right now.
Yes.
So
yeah, he did it in combat step.
Yeah. So attacking for 3. Okay, Frederik's contemplating whether he wants to play something now, but again, he might be running into counter spells when he does so. No, he decides to take it. It's the safer route, actually, because trying to do something right now might just hurt more than taking it. Yeah, and he plays their move afterwards. See, okay, the counterspell gets played now. He already anticipated it, but at least he doesn't take 3 extra damage off of it. So that was the murderous cut.
So he's anticipating again, I guess.
Yeah, I must say that Sander last game was more lucky with his removal spells, but I also think that the density of removal spells in Sander's deck was quite a lot higher. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Frederik holding tendrils, agonizing tendrils, I'm sorry, that are not so interesting right now. I would have played it at this point, but
what does it say, agonizing tendrils?
it gives -2/-2, and it exiles all the creatures that are killed by it. So at this point it would have likely killed the Swift Spear, with Edouard only having a red mana up, and at least definitely killing the Jace. So again attacking for 3.
And Jace is very good in this deck because it just takes your instant spells back to your hand, so you can play them again, triggering prowess once more, making it the deck even more, getting more value out of your cards. So Jace is really a must in this deck.
Yeah, Edouard currently has 3 cards in his graveyard, so he could flip Jace if he plays the spell right now, or even an Evolving Wilds and activates the ability. There isn't really something interesting to flash back from his graveyard at this point. Yeah, I think keeping the looter available for a little longer if you're still sculpting a hand is more valuable than flipping into the Planeswalker at this point.
Yes.
So if he can trigger prowess and Frederik has no response, this is for lethal. So Frederik doesn't want to give him a chance to do so. It's quite likely that Edouard is holding counter magic at this point. So trying to kill something awkwardly could mean you get killed instead. I'm pretty sure this is game now. We see Pearl Lake Ancient in Frederik's hand, but I'm afraid that won't be enough to do anything here. Edouard just checking to make sure that he knows what his cards are doing. So, and he's getting ready to flip it. So if you know you're going to flip it at that point, it is a good practice to possibly just discard the card you want to flash back in order to maximize your card advantage. I think it's a bit over the top at this point, since I don't really see a way for Frederik to dig himself out of this.
I was playing really safely. Okay, so he needs counters. So he decides to put the spell back into his hand. Is it into his hand?
No, you get to cast it from the graveyard that turn.
Okay.
So, yeah. So does Edouard have disdainful stroke? Frederik was expedite.
Yeah,
the kill goes around it. And we're on to game 3. So apparently Edouard was holding a bunch of counter spells and irrelevant things, while Frederik wasn't drawing any removal, so the game ended up a little bit awkward, but that happens from time to time.
Yeah, also it's a bit difficult when you're playing against the control deck because you don't know what they have in hand, so you really want to keep your counter spells in hand, not throwing them away.
Edouard did have
the last
perfect opening,
was,
except if he had the third land on turn 3.
That's really nice.
It would have been, I guess, the nuts for this deck, right?
Yes, definitely is. Also with a bit bad luck from Frederik's side, with the Mulligan to 5, and then...
So at least this time Frederik is on the play. I sort of hope he got very unlucky in game 2 because I didn't really see any impactful sideboard cards appear in the game. So it could be that he's underprepared for this matchup as well.
So how many players showed up today at the Evening League Standards?
Oh, we had 29 players, which is a good number. It's the numbers we've been sporting at the last couple events as well. 24, 32, 29 was the last couples. So it's a really healthy community at this point, and we have a few people who are really motivated in pushing the community forward. Me for one, from a purely community point of view, but we have Tom van der Velde, who's a very good deck builder who has decided that League Standard is an awesome format and he wants to dedicate quite a bit of his free time to it, helping people out with their decks. We have Sander de Kwiek, who sort of replaced my duties here locally, so I can devote more time to this digital content and to trying to start up little League Standard hubs elsewhere in Belgium. So there's a lot of interesting stuff happening right now, and this stream is the proof that we're still going forward, still keeping up with trying to spread the word about this, because I just think it fills a niche that Magic needs at this point.
Yeah, because it's, in my opinion, it really feels like a mixture between casual and competitive, especially with these kind of tournaments. They are really casual, they feel really casual, but at the same time you can win a few boosters, which makes it fun as well. The community here is really great, noticed it quite a while, and I also saw about Tom van der Velde making a lot of pages on the website from League Standard about what decks to beat and giving very good overall tips. Also talking about a lot of played cards in the format, which makes it really easy if you want to step in to this so you know what you can expect. Makes it a really nice format.
So if you're interested in any of these articles, you can find them all at leaguestandard.wordpress.com. We are currently working on a new website, cleaning up the layout a little bit, making sure the content is more visible. But right now we're still on League Standard, even though the format is changing its name to Gentry. Okay, in the meantime, we're into game 3. We saw a mulligan from Edouard, but again he has his dream opening of Monastery Swift Spear. Let's hope that Frederik has a little more ability to interact in this game than in the previous one. And we're back to game 1. Let's see if the Flaying Tendrils punishes him as badly as it did last time. Grasp of Darkness from Frederik is a pretty big sign that he doesn't have the Tendrils in his hand at this point. And Frederik apparently stuck both on 2 lands and only black mana, so that sign there. This could easily be the end of Frederik already at this point. Elusive Spellfist. That's a trinity, the Monastery Swift Spear, Elusive Spellfist and the Storm Chaser Mage. Yeah, both of the Gatewatch with the Storm Chaser Mage really finished up this deck.
Yeah, it really did. I didn't play that card because I was playing whites as well, and Seeker of the Way was a bit better than that card.
Okay, so let's see. That is Titan Strength, so this is an attack for 6 at this point. And then Expedite makes it for 7, and the Spell Fist triggers, and so it's for 9.
This is going fast.
Okay, Frederik draws his 3rd land, so he has the tendrils available now.
I should be playing, but there's a blue mana open from Edouard, which could mean sealed.
Yeah, it could be the Dispel, and also it only kills the Swift Spear, since the Spellfist does have 3 toughness. And he chooses not to do anything. So he wants to do it in the upkeep. That seems like a bad decision for me right now. Edouard has more mana available, and he still gets the trigger. That's a complete disregard, I think. Yeah. So that's actually taking an extra risk. Playing it in your own turn means that if he gets the prowess trigger, it doesn't really hurt you that much. So again, like I said earlier, the prowess deck does force you to play somewhat differently against certain opponents. Frederik op 6. Okay, so it's pretty much D-Day for Frederik. If he can't get rid of this Swift Spear, it's possibly over for him. Yeah, Edouard refills his hand. This is a great occasion for Frederik to both destroy the Swift Spear or counter the... Oh, he has neither of those. Bad sign, man. Oh. And Edouard gets the dream opening. So Nathalie, can you think of a combination of cards for Frederik to dig himself out of this?
Well, what's on the board? Because I cannot see. 2
Yes.
monasteries?
Yeah, 2 Swift Spears on the board. He's tapped out. Oh,
You could play Flaying Tendrils would be a really good card to play right now, and I
that's
hope...
not the mana for Tendrils.
What's that?
That's Anticipate.
Oh,
That's possibly conceding, well, admitting defeat here.
Maybe searching for a murderous cut just to get one Swift Spear out.
Swamp Bile Blight. Yeah, that's not in the format anymore, people. But that would be a great answer here.
Yeah. Oh wait, he anticipated it. End of turn.
It's end of turn. Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah. So the Crux of Fate solves this issue handily.
I don't know what the Crux of Fate does, so can you
It
explain?
destroys either all dragons or all non-dragons.
Okay.
And the hasty 1/3 flyer is back. Okay.
So
Is this for 1? Yeah, this is for 1. Okay, Frederik again back to the wall. Has to find an answer to this scenario. But Edouard has some cards in hand for mana untapped, so odds are he can protect this threat. Frederik leaving open 1 blue. Is this a...
Dispel.
And oh, Edouard cannot answer back. Okay, so another card exiled. Frederik still alive, holding on to the skin of his teeth, and Edouard just reloads. It's such a powerful effect to have in this type of deck. It's crazy.
Okay, so it appears like it doesn't have any creatures, or is afraid to play one, but I don't think that would be the case. I just think I didn't find any.
But at this point we went through 2 Swift Spears and 2 Storm Chaser Mages and a Spellfist already.
Yeah, they don't play that many creatures.
Yeah, he lost half the creatures in his deck already. Okay.
So there's another.
Yeah, Frederik at this point pretty much needs to stop every damage dealing card that Edouard is producing, and he can't, and that's the end of it. So that's the end of round 4 as well. Edouard wins,
Making him 4-0.
making him 4-0, winning 7 boosters. We'll also see what this does to the standings. So if you want to stick around, if you're interested in this leaderboard, we'll announce the 2 top seeds in the leaderboard and the people who are in top 5 as well. If that's not interesting to you, then have a good night and thank you very much for viewing here.
Bye!